Indeed, the time has come. Tommy Fury versus Jake Paul. Or the way I state it is Jake Paul versus Tommy Fury. You're watching BWTM Sports, and you know what time it is. Get ready. You might not like this particular video. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome to BWTM Sports Gaming. This is the one. And this is the one for many reasons because you see, for boxing, the stakes couldn't be any bigger. The YouTuber or the supposed YouTuber who is taking a chance or is having a go or trying to get lucky fighting against the professional boxer. We have Jake Paul versus Tommy Fury. I remember, and those people who've been watching my channel for a while, they would remember me saying that out of the two brothers, I said Jake Paul is the guy who's fundamentally a better boxer. I still believe that. Now, names don't win you fights. Your fundamentals, your boxing ability, your talent, your heart, your guts, your determination, your ring IQ, those are the things that win you a fight. If I'm honest with you, boxing fans, and I always am, I don't lie. I don't say things just for saying things' sake. I don't think that Tommy Fury originally would have taken this fight. You know what this fight kind of reminds me of? Is when David Haye fought Tony Bellew for the first time. David Haye was never planned and scheduled to fight Tony Bellew. There was no need for him to fight Tony Bellew. His aim was to become heavyweight champion of the world again, or at least get that fight with Anthony Joshua, if you remember. He had those two fights with those YouTubers, or those two fights with those two guys. One guy learned how to fight off of YouTube, Mark Demori, if you remember, and the Cobra, I think it was. Yeah, two guys, maybe two guys he fought anyway, and he looked good doing it. So people saying, what would happen if David Haye fought Anthony Joshua? And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, Tony Bellew saw his moment. He went, right, I'll get him right there. I've sparred David Haye before. I know David isn't the fighter he once was. I know he's got carrying some injuries. He's not the fighter he once was, and I'm going to expose that. So we didn't know, until us, we didn't know. Tony Bellew's calling out David Haye, saying he's fought guys that are not very good. You know, he's not the fighter he was. Talked about the sparring session. Before we knew it, we got an irate David Haye, and we got a fight. We were expecting Haye to just knock Tony Bellew out. But lo and behold, Tony Bellew beats David Haye, not once, but twice. Takes everything that David Haye has and beats him. And more or less railroading, and stopping the comeback of the Haymaker. For that, I still won't forgive Tony Bellew for, because we still could have had some great nights with David Haye, even if he was trying to con the public, which Tony Bellew said it was true. He was trying to con them. He could take a fast buck. But, you know, I would like to still see what would happen if Haye had fought Joshua, just to see what would happen if Haye was able to land that Haymaker on Joshua, who was significantly slower. What would have happened had those two fought? I would still like to have known what would have happened. I'll never know. We will never know, unless something crazy happens. So this fight happened because, if you remember, his big mouth brother, Tyson Fury, said, I think Tommy will beat that Jake Paul. Remember Tyson said that? So Tyson got his brother into a fight against an influencer, a global superstar, Jake Paul. And right there, that was a problem. Because why is everyone saying this guy's a YouTuber? The guy has got a professional license to box. There are guys who also may have been on YouTube, but not as successful as Jake Paul. But he's successful at what he does. And that is something you have to take into consideration. And then if you look at Jake Paul, you want to call him a YouTube boxer. But if you look at Jake Paul's resume, he fought an MMA guy. But the two guys he's fought on his resume, Woodley and Anderson Silva, are better than anything that Tommy Fury has fought. Anything in his professional career. Those guys, the two guys he's fought, will go down in the Hall of Fame. They're successful fighters. They know how to fight. They're not learning how to fight. They know how to fight. They've been successful in their careers and they've come over to boxing. And none of them got sparked in the first round. No one got chinned in the first round. Both guys tried to give it a go. They came to give it a go. They took their punches and they threw punches back. It wasn't one-way traffic. And Jake Paul, in those fights, went a few rounds. He took his punches. He had to fight on the front foot. He had to fight on the back foot. He had to take punches and give punches. He had to dig deep. He had to do those things. If you look at Tommy Fury's resume, it's not good. It's not good at all. None of the guys on Tommy Fury's resume, one guy had no wins, 0 losses, 0 wins and 35 losses. That is a 35-time loser. What kind of a being fights a guy that's had 35 losses? So when John Fury was managing Tommy Fury, Jake Paul was never on their radar. They never prepared for Jake Paul. Jake Paul wasn't even in their radar. It wasn't even talked about. It wasn't even considered until Tyson opened his big gob and said that. Now, Tommy Fury is not Hughie Fury. Tommy Fury is not Tyson Fury. Both of those guys have accomplished amateur backgrounds. Well, more so Hughie, because Hughie was a world amateur champion, youth champion, I believe. Tyson fought around the world as an amateur as well. Tommy Fury is all right, but as a pro, tell me what is so great about Tommy Fury. He's not a big puncher. From what I've seen between the two guys, Jake Paul, take away all the rubbish about YouTube, because I don't look at Jake Paul as a YouTuber. I look at him as a professional boxer. He's got hands and he can punch and he can box. All right. This guy is dangerous and he's got hands and he's got guts and he's got determination and he's come to fight. Don't look at him as a YouTuber. That's the first mistake. Look at this guy as a YouTuber. The second mistake is to disrespect what the guy's done so far. The third mistake is to turn around and start saying this guy is this, that, and the other, and you're on the opposite side saying those things. Because if you get beat by Jake Paul, you're finished. You are basically rubber stamping your end in boxing right there. If you talk about the two guys and you talk about which guy's more legitimate, Jake Paul is far more legitimate in terms of what he's done in the boxing ring than Tommy Fury. Name me one guy Tommy Fury's fought that's a Hall of Famer in anything they've done. There's a difference between fighting guys who you know you're going to beat and you know you're going to knock out versus a guy that's come from the YouTube world and stepped straight into the boxing world and he's fought two guys that are Hall of Famers in their own code. These guys can still fight. These guys have pride about them. These guys both believe they can beat Jake Paul. Jake Paul has said, I'll fight Tommy Fury and I'll beat Tommy Fury. And here's the reasons why I believe he thinks he can beat Tommy Fury. Reason number one, Tommy Fury is not physically strong. Look at the fights. He had that fight against Anthony Pretty Boy, who did an interview on this channel. He's not physically strong. He hit that guy with so many shots. Guy didn't go anywhere. The guy, I think, started his career as a lightweight. So he's gone up and fought a cruiserweight. And Fury couldn't knock him out, couldn't stop him. Yet the other day, in the Misfits, he got stopped by a guy who's not even a considered professional boxer. But yet, they're fighting on a professional card with professional licenses. So you tell me. I think boxing fans are picking and choosing who's and who's not based on background. But as far as I'm concerned, Jake Paul is live and he is a serious threat to Tommy Fury. I don't know if he's a threat in terms of the WBC and the top 15 or stuff, but he's a serious threat to Tommy Fury for a number of reasons. Tommy Fury fights only one way from what I've seen. He can only fight one way. And the way he fights is he just comes forward, chucking punches. And for me, that's okay until you fight guys who are going to crack you back hard. And Jake Paul's going to crack him back hard. And I don't know about Tommy Fury's chin. I don't know about his durability. And I don't know about his ability to dig deep. The three things I know about Jake Paul: if he gets hit, he'll fight back. I know if he has to dig deep, I know where I'm looking. And the fundamentals. Well, I've seen Jake Paul backed up on the ropes and tuck up. Tommy Fury, if he fights a counter punch, he leaves his chin in the air, he comes in, he throws his punches pretty stiff. And when he's up close, he smothers his work. The guys he's been knocking out and the guys he's beaten and looking good against are against guys who've got no ambition to win, should have no business being in the ring. And if you're as good as you say you are, why are you fighting this type of opponents? It's all right, John Fury saying, "Oh yeah, he's trying to do this," and John Fury's not fighting. In fact, not being funny, but if you were going to compare careers, you'd probably think Tommy Fury is more like John Fury in terms of sort of like ability to Tyson Fury and Hughie Fury. I think Tyson Fury and Hughie Fury are more legit. They're legit. They were legitimate guys who could fight. No disrespect to John Fury, but his career, you saw how he got iced. You saw who he got iced by as well. I'm not disrespecting John. I'm just saying what it is. And for me, I think a lot of people are scared to say Tommy Fury would get beat by Jake Paul because Tommy Fury is a professional boxer. We've got it in our eyes. He's a professional boxer. Yeah, he ticks the boxes. He's a pro boxer. He's got a pro license. He's got a brother named Tyson. Yeah, and then he's had some fights as a pro. He had some amateur fights, and yeah, he's had a pro. Yeah, that makes him a pro fighter. So Jake Paul's got a professional license, and he's fought on bigger cards than Tommy Fury. But somehow the other, Tommy Fury, is not considered a professional fighter. Whoa, wait. I mean, Jake Paul's not considered a professional fighter. Whoa. And the guy's got a better resume. He's got a better resume than Tommy Fury has. If you look at their records, if you look at what they've accomplished, and you look at the mindset of the guys that Jake Paul has fought versus the guys Tommy Fury has fought. Yeah, well, Tommy Fury could step up, but fundamentals, he's wide open to counter shots. In fact, he's tailor-made. The way Tommy Fury comes forward and he chucks his punches like this, he's tailor-made for a looping right hand to come over the top and knock him sparkle. I'm telling you, he's tailor-made for that. He's never been in a situation where he's going to have his back against the ropes and had to fight. He's never been in a situation when somebody's hit him hard on the chin, right, in an audience, in a heated fight. And he's never been in a situation where his name, he's in a ring against a guy he's not guaranteed to beat, but everyone's expecting him to beat. To me, from what I see, Jake Paul is fundamentally the better boxer. Fundamentally. That's what I think. And I think the worst thing they could have done, they should have taken a fight against Jake Paul when the fight was first made. They should have taken a fight then. But I don't think Tommy Fury was ready. I don't think he was dedicated. I don't think he was committed the way that Jake Paul's been committed. And I think Jake Paul has been committed the whole way through since he stepped in the ring to say, I'm going to become a professional boxer. He's been dedicated and in that gym since. I don't know if Tommy Fury is as dedicated as Jake Paul. I don't. And I do believe that this fight is happening because of his brother and not because Tommy Fury wants it himself. And based on what I saw, what Tommy Fury did against Anthony Taylor, I think it's Anthony Taylor, in America, he seemed to freeze. So I have no faith so far in Tommy Fury's chin. I've got no faith in Tommy Fury's heart and his ability to fight. I just don't. And just because you've got the name Fury, it means you can fight, but doesn't mean you can fight very well. The name Fury doesn't give you boxing fundamentals. Hard work, dedication, and actually being good at what you do give you the fundamentals, right? So it's just something. I see Jake Paul as a pro fighter and a dedicated pro fighter and a guy that's willing to put it on the line. He could have got beat by Anderson Silva. He could have got beat by Tyron Woodley. Can Tommy Fury beat Anderson Silva? He calls them old men. Can he beat them? Can he beat Tyron Woodley? I don't know. I don't know. Be honest. Put a hand in the heart and say, yeah, he beat Anderson Silva. Now, this is the same Anderson Silva for Julio Cesar Chavez. Senior. Tell me. There's a mentality about Jake Paul. Jake Paul's a dog, as far as I'm concerned. Jake Paul is a dog. And I look at both of the guys and strip him down. I don't listen to the rubbish that the media like to put out. Oh, he's a YouTuber. He's a pro fighter. He's got a professional license. End of conversation. The man is a boxer. The man is stepping in the ring with a professional boxing license. He is licensed to fight, and he has an influencer's background. And let me tell you something now, ladies and gentlemen. Let me tell you something right here and now. And I said it to you during the lockdown. I said to you, boxing is changing. Remember when I said to you, there should be a league for boxers? Yeah, older fighters coming back. Remember I said it to you before it was happening, and it happened. And remember I said to you that fighters are going to have to do more than just have gloves and just fight. That they're going to have to promote themselves. And what you see at Jake Paul is where boxing is in 2023. That's what it's about. You might not like it, boxing fans, but that's what it is. And do you know why? Because it makes promoters' lives easier. Don't have to worry about ticket sales with Jake Paul. He'll sell tickets because he'll go out there and he'll promote himself. So it makes he's a promoter's dream. Guys like Lawrence Zicoli, no disrespect, are a promoter's nightmare because they're not exciting to watch. They're not exciting to listen to. Do you understand? David Haye was exciting because inside the ring, he was a knockout artist, but outside the ring, he was articulate. It was exciting to see what he was getting up to. You'd see Haye himself was doing things like he had his boxing fitness video, and you saw him with the ladies, and you saw him open up his gym when he did box signings, when he was a Haymaker, and did Haymaker magazine. So, you boxing people out there, you dinosaurs out there, Jake Paul, my friend, is the future of how boxing is going. If you can't promote yourself, forget it. And I said a lot of fighters would leave home. It's not happening. Edgar Berlanga, my good friend Edgar Berlanga, who first was on this channel before anybody was talking about Edgar Berlanga. Edgar Berlanga was right here on BWTM Sports when he was with Evander Holyfield, the night where, if you remember on BWTM Sports, we spoke to Evander Holyfield and all of Evander Holyfield's team. Edgar Berlanga was part of that team. Let me tell you something right here, right now. Eddie Hearn and Ed Berlanga is an absolute disaster because Berlanga has got no chin. He's got no chin. So Berlanga will get knocked out under Eddie Hearn if he sticks around long enough because Hearn's going to stick him in fights. You should stick him in and Berlanga will get knocked out. Mark my words. I told you when Josh Warrington went to Hearn, what was going to happen? Josh Warrington went and got knocked out. Keep going. You guys keep going signing with Hearn. So I've said it before. I'll say it again. Boxing is changing. You just have to be aware of it. So I respect Jake Paul. And I respect a man who's dedicated to the sport. So that being said, strip them both down. Jake Paul, to me, he hits harder. He's a better boxer. He's done the rounds. He's fought the better opposition. He believes in himself. And he's not fighting for family legacy as such. So we'll see what Tommy Fury's chin's like when he gets hit on it. And he'll get nailed on it because he comes straight forward and he's got no defense. He's got no defensive responsibilities. No defense because you've been fighting up and beating up on guys that have got no will to fight. Now you're going to fight a guy who's got the will to fight and knows that he's got your number. Like he knows it. He knows you can't punch. He knows that this isn't the strongest. And I said this going back a while about Tommy Fury. I don't think he believes he's what he says he is. I just don't. I honestly don't. I think he might have been a great reality show star. Everyone's talking about Jake Paul being reality. But didn't Tommy Fury come from Love Island? Isn't that where we know Tommy Fury from? We don't know Tommy Fury from boxing. We know Tommy Fury as Tyson Fury's bro. But we don't know Tommy Fury from where? So you tell me. We know Tommy Fury as Tyson's brother or stepbrother. That's how we know Tommy Fury. And from Love Island. Now, so you've got the nerve to say that about that Jake Paul's an influencer. Well, wasn't Tommy Fury an influencer? So they've both come from backgrounds which are outside of boxing. So I don't want to hear rubbish about Jake Paul. It's just Jake Paul is just better at what he does as an influencer. So if you ask somebody today, right here and now, ask them, who did Tommy Fury fight? Name me two. And out of those guys he fought, how many of them are Hall of Fame legends? So that's the thing that people miss out here on Jake Paul. He's fought two Hall of Fame legends. And Tyron Woodley, by the way, he's an MMA fighter. He's a striker. He's a striker. He's a striker. That's what he's noted for. Do you understand? He knocked at that basketball guy. Basketball guy had no business being in the ring of him. And Askin, he outweighed Askin by God knows how much. So those fights didn't matter. This fight here, Tommy Fury is got the longer reach. I think they're about the same height. My people, my boxing people, hope and pray that Tommy Fury wins this fight. Because if he doesn't win this fight, this, as in Eddie Hearn's words, game changed. Yes, this will be game changed. Literally, figuratively, literally. Because boxing isn't about, you can fight, but management is the key. Put yourself in the right place at the right time. And Tommy Fury should have taken a fight then. Because in the interim, if I'm right, he fought Anderson Silva. He fought Tyron Woodley again because Tommy Fury pulled out, remember? So he fought Tyron Woodley and he fought Anderson Silva. So he fought Tyron Woodley a second time and he fought Anderson Silva. And I can tell you, those two fights are better in quality than any fight that Tommy Fury has had. Any. And you're telling me he wouldn't be a better boxer fighter now coming into this fight with Tommy Fury? To me, Tommy Fury is the B-side in this fight. Sorry. Tommy Fury has it all to prove. Has he got a good chin? I don't think so. We'll see. Has he got a big heart? I don't know. Has he got a big mouth? Yeah. And he's willing to put it on the line and say we've got to say about him. Fine, about Paul, yeah. But he can speak it because, you know, Love Island, you've got to be confident. You've got to back yourself. Yeah. But this isn't Love Island. This is a man who's looking to render you unconscious. And I believe it's when Tommy Fury does that ring walk, that's when you're going to see rabbit in headlights. That's what I believe. I could be completely wrong. But I can't see. He had that rabbit in headlights look when he fought Anthony Taylor. Then he had rabbit in headlight look. And he looked stiff. And he looked like the event was getting to him. Yeah, he beat Anthony Taylor. He didn't look impressive in that night. And then we had Daniel Dubois put on that spectacular knockout that night that wiped out what Tommy Fury did that night, if you remember rightly. So just look at the way Tommy Fury throws his punches. I'm not saying that Jake Paul's a master, but the way Tommy Fury throws his punches, even when he throws the uppercut, he threw from so far out, he's just there to be counted. And even there's a highlight reel, where you watch the highlight reel, where he's throwing an uppercut, his back is against ropes, his chin is in the air, way up in the notice. And he's going to leave his chin out to dry. Either going forward or coming back, he's going to leave his chin out to dry. And it's just one of them looping overhand rights. I'm telling you, one. Just one. Fury might be behind, using the jab and boxing. I say, boom! Boom! That's it. So you thought the Tyron Woodley one was bad. Tyron Woodley at least had his hands up before the shot came. This guy, he's down here fighting. Oh, wait. I told you about boxing fundamentals. So, I mean, listen, this could be the end of me as a YouTuber in a sense, because I'm backing Jake Paul. But from what I'm seeing and what Jake Paul's doing and stuff he's doing inside the ring has been far more impressive against better opposition than anything Tommy Fury has done. The only thing about Tommy Fury that makes me look up is John Fury when he's talking, and he's a pretty knowledgeable guy. Tyson Fury, but nobody wants to upset the Furies. Says here, Ring Gang TV. I know Tommy from Asgard Steven Jarby. He was about 15, but holding his own in sparring. Then he just stopped, and a few years later he was on Love Island. But yeah, he's more known for TV rather than boxing. Well, there you go. There you go. That's it right there. Dedication. Dedication. That's what concerns me. Like, just dedication. That's what worries me about this fight. You can't just suddenly become dedicated. You can't just suddenly be dedicated. Like, I think in an ideal world, managerial wise, they would have built up to this fight with Jake Paul. They would have probably had a few more fights, got more experience, maybe even get class to win a British title, and then fought Jake Paul. But if you're not dedicated and you don't have the heart to go the distance, and is anyone here really see Tommy Fury being a world champion? Honestly. Like, can you see Tommy Fury beating Richard Riakporhe? Can you see Tommy Fury beating Lawrence Okoli? Can you see Tommy Fury beating, what's this guy from South Bournemouth? What's his name? Can't remember his name now. I think he's European champion. Can you see Tommy Fury beating somebody like, oh God. I mean, cruiserweight division. Let me ask you the question. Can you? Yeah, Chris Smith. Can you see Tommy Fury beating Chris Smith? I can't even see him winning an area title. And that's my point. That is my point. I believe Jake Paul could win an area title. I believe he's good enough to win an area title. I really do. I think he's good enough to win an area title. Remember those old interviews with Asgar? LOL. You need to get him for a catch-up. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I will do. Most definitely. Need to get him for catch-up. I wonder how he's doing these days. I just, I saw him. The last time I saw Asgar, I saw him in person, actually. And it was around a time where Ben Davison, I was actually on the phone with him at the time when Tyson and Ben had a bust-up. That was around that time. And then after that, we talked to Asgar after that. The thing is about that Anderson Silva was really greatly challenged than Tommy Fury. As Floyd Mayweather said to Berto in his face-off, big muscles don't win fights. They don't. You're right about Tommy Fury's dedication, though. Is Edgar Belanga's chin like Amir Khan's? It's dodgy. It's dodgy. Put his way, it's dodgy. And his punching power is overrated. And I like Jake by KO. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm going Jake by KO. I don't see this fight going to points. Fight goes by knockout. And it goes by knockout because of boxing fundamentals. It will come down to boxing who wins this fight. Boxing. Not names. Not your father in the corner. I think he's Hulk Hogan. Not your other bro. Not your dad in the corner going or your bro who's champion of the world. No. It's going to come down to boxing fundamentals. And have you got the boxing fundamentals? Have you got what it takes to hold the sport of boxing together? During this time where Jake Paul is looking to evolve the sport of boxing. Because you look at Jake Paul, he comes in as the YouTuber. And let me show you something here. How many guys do you know that have boxed, YouTube star, boxed, and promoted one of the biggest fights in the world? Did he not promote Amanda Serrano? Katie Taylor? Was he not a part of that? Something that freaking Eddie Hearn can do. This guy is legit. I don't know how far Jake Paul goes with this, but with smart management, you can go places. But I just don't see Tommy Fury being that man I could be completely wrong. Tommy Fury may come out next week and box with his hands up and use the jab and pop and move like Muhammad Ali. Yeah, exactly. Co-promote with Eddie Hearn. That tells you that guy. And something Eddie Hearn couldn't do himself. He couldn't do it himself. He couldn't get over the line himself. Jake Paul, though, through his work behind the scenes, has helped put women boxing on the map in a way it hasn't been done before. Yes, so I rate Jake Paul for many things. Serrano is signed to his promotion. There you go. There you go. So when people talk about Jake Paul, a lot of people talk about Jake Paul just talking out their ass. And they themselves couldn't even begin to do what this guy has achieved. So if you want to know something and about this channel, yeah, I support Jake Paul because like hard work, dedication, smart work, manifesting, producing the goods. Yes. Do I like Edgar as a man? Yeah, Edgar's cool. Edgar's cool. He's a funny dude. Real funny. He's got lots of personality. He has got pay-per-view. He's got pay-per-view qualities. Like he's got star crossover power, Edgar Berlanga. Problem is, he's too much in that other world He's too much in that other world, that celebrity lifestyle. He's caught up too much in that. To me, from what I'm seeing. And he needs to spend more time in the gym. Boxing fraternity don't like when a novice comes in and makes millions, because boxing is backward. I'm sorry, there's too many dinosaurs in boxing, and too many people don't think outside the box. So that's up to boxing. Boxing should feel embarrassed that a guy can come out of the cold, come in and make a living and rob them. They should be embarrassed and ashamed of themselves. But that's down to the promoters that we have in the sport of boxing today. I wholeheartedly blame the promoters, because if fighters, all the fighters were fighting one another, you think you could roll up to UFC and do the same thing? I'd like to see a boxer try it, leave boxing and go into UFC. Let's see you do it. See how far that goes. Imagine Pacquiao being 7-weight world champion, only making enough money, making real money and getting known in the twilight of his career. Sounds crazy. That's what happened to Serrano. There you go. There you go. How should Joyce promote himself? George Foreman said it before. Shave your head off. George Foreman. This is going to be crazy. It is. These boxers fighting bums for big paydays, just like Jake. What's the difference? Difference is Jake is doing it, and he's got a big fan base, and he's taking them along the ride, and he's got that crossover personality. That's the difference. The man's a showman. Too many boxing fraternity gatekeepers harp on about he hasn't been to the Olympics and the likes. Last time I checked, Jack O'Sullivan, Jack Johnson, Rocky Marciano, and Archie Moore weren't medalists. Oh, there you go. Well, hold on. Last time I checked, Tyson Fury never went to the Olympics. So what are you saying? He flattened Woodley. Of course he did. Honestly, Joe Joyce should adopt the Dirk Chisora style of self-promotion. It will go far. I think he should keep his mouth shut, and I think he should be like George Foreman. Don't speak in press conferences. It's probably best there, because he doesn't carry himself very well when he opens his mouth and speaks. It's better just shut his mouth and, just like I said before, shave your head off, less of the flipping cartwheeling, and just keep quiet. And take that guy, that menacing behavior you've got inside the ring, outside the ring. He can do it. He can pull it off easily. What was Archie Moore's nickname? Was it in the Mongoose? You're right. I didn't think about that. Yeah, there is a difference. A lot of boxers would love to do what Jake Paul is doing, just like a lot of boxers like to do what Floyd is doing. People don't follow failure. People follow success. Remember what I said. People don't follow failure. People follow success. People don't hate failure. They hate on success. The reason why they hate on success, because they wish it was them that were doing it. They wish they were capable of doing it, but they don't want to put the work in. They wish they could do it, but don't have the ability to do it. They wish they could do it, but they haven't got the heart to do it. They wish they could do it, but I haven't got the character to do it. Yeah, that's the truth. And you can take it to the bank. Archie Moore's called the ageless one, ancient, the old mongoose, the most KOs by number in history of the sport. Yeah. So there you go. There you have it. So that's the truth right there. If Tommy Fury is the man to stop Jake Paul, if Tommy Fury is the first guy, the first boxer, but as far as I was concerned, Anderson Silva and Tyron Woodley, more so Anderson Silva, because he fought another boxer, which was Julio Cesar Chavez. Yeah. So that being said, he has fought boxers before, because as far as I was concerned, the Tyron Woodley fight was recognized as a boxing bout. The Anderson Silva fight was recognized as a boxing bout. And if he beats Tommy Fury, it'll be recognized as a boxing bout. And he has a license as a boxer. So I don't want to listen to any rubbish about telling me he's not fought a boxer. He's fought a boxer. Now he doesn't. If he beats Tommy Fury, Then they say, all right, well, then he should fight Lawrence Okoli. Stop with that rubbish. Stop. Just leave him. Leave him be. I can see Tommy Fury winging some crazy shots and woofing in the air, gassing out and being stopped around 6 and 7 after being totally absolutely exhausted. Possibly. I can also see him getting hit on the chin and not wanting any part of it. That's what I can see. I can see Jake neutralizing very quickly what Tommy Fury thinks he is, as opposed to what he is. A right hand on the chin hard can remind you of all those times you weren't dedicated, and remind you of all those times as to why you should have been dedicated. So I think they stall for time. That's what I think. They stall for time so Tommy could get himself more time to prepare. But Jake had more time to prepare, and he had 2 fights in between. BJ Flores is the coach of Jake. I do believe he is. Not a bad fighter, BJ Flores. Not a bad fighter. He's done a good job with Jake Paul as well. Good fighter. So I'm going to stick my neck on the line and go with boxing fundamentals. And go... I think Tommy Fury telegraphs too many of his punches. I think Jake's going to knock him out. You'll see the punch coming and knock him out. I really do. I think Mail gets quicker than Tommy Fury's right overhand. I know. Greatness doesn't actually run in the family through all the generations. Anyone knowing King Tut's son's name? Exactly. Sometimes it doesn't transfer. LOL. Bellew KO'd. So that's it. Those are my thoughts. I'm not proud to be saying this. I'm not going to lie and say, yeah, Tommy Fury's got lots of muscles. That's why he's going to win the fight. Or Tommy Fury's going to win the fight because he's fundamentally better when he's not. And I gave the reasons why. Jake Paul's fundamentally better on the front foot, off the back foot, to the sides. He throws his punches better. He's actually been in fights, and his resume is better than Tommy's, not only just by the guys he's fought, the credibility of the guys he's fought, but the tests he's had to face along the way. Do you think Tommy's going into this fight clean? It's in Saudi Arabia, right? Are any of those fighters going into the fight clean? Carl Froch versus Jake Paul. See, Froch is going to be fighting a cruiserweight. And at 45 years old, Froch, technically, he was always one to leave his chin up in the air. Okay. Froch will hurt Jake if he hits him. But I'll tell you something now. If Froch is stupid enough to go and take that fight, if he's stupid enough to take that fight, because it's age. I know Froch is fit and all that stuff, but if you get knocked down by George Groves, this guy's a cruiserweight. He's not this guy can box a bit as well. I don't want to see that fight. I don't want to see it. I'm not interested. No shaming admitting the facts. Tommy Fury does not take boxing seriously enough to get behind for winning a fight. Jake Paul is a workhorse. That's just the facts. It is. Don't care if Tommy Fury is taking all steroids and title on the night. He doesn't have enough fundamentals to win. That's the fundamentals. And that's what it's down. That's the truth. The truth is fundamentals. And that's what I'm going with. And that's what I'm making my decision. Not basically because I like Tyson Fury or I like John Fury or sat next to John Fury or I've done interviews with Tyson Fury. I'm doing it based on fundamentals. And I'm not leading people up the garden path. Enough people will lead you up the garden path and tell you Jake Paul's this and that, but don't underestimate Jake Paul. This guy is a what PEDs was Big Baby Miller taking? Not enough. I'll leave it there. Carl Froch, you duck. If we meet at Wembley, it's going to 80,000 people. I'll put you on your seat on your pants. LOL. If Froch takes that fight, he's going to want in front. He's going to want in front of 100,000 people, not 80,000, not 90,000. You want to break records again. So, yeah, No, I don't want to see Froch fight him. Guy's a cruiserweight. Froch was a super middleweight at best. He never wanted to move up to light heavyweight. Why was that? So, and he was swerving Gennady Golovkin like a plague because he hit so hard. I don't know. You'd think that Froch would beat Jake Paul, but this guy's a cruiserweight. You know, and Froch has got a great chin, but was never Mr. Defensive. Big Mayor was taking TRT and also doing hormone replacement. Oh, I want to know what he was masking. Good question. The fact he can't fight very well, don't know. Right, let me get out of here. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. Who do you think is going to win and why? And is it a good thing for Tommy Fury to win the fight, or is it a better thing for Jake Paul to win the fight? Have a good evening. Take care.